Is there a story being told in Sleepyhead top to bottom? Or is it just a bunch of just individual stories encompassed in these songs?
It's just some individual stories. It wasn't supposed to be an album. Like Sleepyhead was just me. I made an album. I wrote a full album that I was like thinking rock radio. I was talking to a bunch of like rock independent labels. I was getting desperate where I was like, okay, it's been a minute since I signed my pub deal a while ago. Like I was like, okay, I need some kind of like something to start taking off. So I was like, hey, maybe I do need to sign with a rock label and maybe they can help me get on radio. So I make this whole album that I'm talking to all these labels about, and they're like, yeah, we love this. This sounds like radio. And then I make Sleepyhead as like just for myself, to like cleanse myself, to be like, that sucked. Like I didn't really feel like I was connecting with the music. But it's like I've done that for so long where I'm just trying to do what I think is going to work and it never works. And then I do Sleepyhead for me, and I was like, I just felt like there was some magic in it. And I was like, oh, if I don't give this a shot, then I'm going to regret it forever if I just go ahead with this album that I'm not like obsessed with. And so I just put out Sleepyhead, and then it was kind of like, I also went crazy on TikTok. Like I started posting every day, which I never did. Like I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a real chance. Like I was always very resistant to the content game that's happening now. I was like, no, I'm in. Like I'm independent. Like if I'm ever going to do it, like I own this music, like let's go. And, you know, it went from like 2,000 plays a day up to like 130,000 plays a day. And then just from posting all the time. So then I was like, okay, let's keep dropping songs. Like, let's just keep flooding every 3 weeks to 4 weeks.
But songs you're making new because you aren't going to pull it from the other album.
I'm making them and going like, this is coming out in 2 weeks. Like after I finish it, I'm like, no rules at this point. Cause I'm like, this resonates. I feel good about it.
Go with it.
Let's go with it. And so I'm like, let's just make a 5-song EP. And then it keeps going so well that I'm like, no rules. Let's just keep putting songs on it until it's a 10-song project. And now I'm like, no, let's like make it a full album, like something that in years I'm going to look back on and be like, this is a full ass album, like something that I would have had when I was a kid. Like, I don't know exactly how many songs. Well, I kind of do, but either way, I went into it. There's 10. There's gonna be
3 versions of Sleepyhead, to be fair.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be more than 10. I still have songs. Now I'm caught up and I've made a bunch of songs, and so now I'm just dropping them. But at the time I was like, no rules. I'm independent. Like I don't have to play anyone's game. I don't want to overthink this and get in my own way and be a perfectionist, because the second I start thinking of something as an album, I'm like, well, now should there be a story, and should there be like what order do I have to? And that's when I start slowing down, and I'm like, this is just working, and I'm not overthinking it. I'm putting a song out every 3 weeks, and I'm pushing them like crazy and posting a lot of content, and everything's going up. So there's not really conceptually a through line. There's a couple of songs that like Vertigo is about a guy who's kind of coming to terms with the fact that he's dying, and then Holy Ghost is about an angel that comes back down to earth and falls in love, and she doesn't know he's there. So there's like a couple songs that I randomly just decided to make like connected.
And are those imagination based or reality based?
Vertigo, about the person coming to terms with dying, I was just thinking about a friend of mine who passed away. I've had multiple friends pass away, but some was very sudden, where I can't imagine they had a chance to come to terms with it. But I had other friends that were in the hospital and whatnot, and so I was just imagining coming to terms with passing over as it's happening. And so I just was like, let me write a song about it. Like I was just thinking about it one day for whatever reason, and so I wrote a song, and then the next day I was like, still kind of feeling the same energy. So I was like, let me like kind of continue it, but kind of bring them back down to earth and have them fall in love, which is, that's kind of like similar vibes to what Iris is about. And Iris is like me and Demi's song. So I was like, let me write like a dark, twisted version that's like my Iris.
Are you talking about the Goo Goo Dolls?
Yeah. Doesn't sound anything like Iris.
It's such a good song.
But it's like that song, I feel like, is about an angel or something. That like that's what I got from it. So I was like, let me write my own interpretation of this.
And that's art, man, because that song means something different to maybe everybody.
Yeah. I mean, even with Sleepyhead, like just the lyric and the hook, like people are taking it ways that I never imagined when I wrote the song. Like for me, it was like this romantic thing, but people are like grieving, and the I died in my sleep to live in your arms is like they've just lost somebody, or there's like all these different ways that people are interpreting it, which to me is my favorite type of lyric, is something that is like, it could be metaphoric, it could be just ambiguous enough that like whatever you're going through, you can apply it to your life and your own. I don't want to tell you exactly what to feel and whatnot. But yeah, to come back to it, and there's not a story, but there is like a sonic palette. There's like a world, and we've really been intentional about keeping things very cohesive and like building out this world that we feel like has inspiration from different things, but is its own thing and isn't something that we've heard before. And so we're kind of like trying to keep everything in this world, but just attacking different concepts, whether it's love, sex, sadness, anything like that. Like just kind of,
They all go together.
yeah, just emotional stuff. And I'm just trying not to overthink. Like I'm just like, something is happening where it's just coming out and it's just happening very effortlessly.
You just got to go with it.
And so I'm like, yeah. And sometimes I listen to the song after I've made it and like think about it from a way I wasn't thinking when I wrote it. And I'm like, oh, I resonate with it more from this angle. And then I'm like, okay, sick. That's a good thing. It means that anyone that listens to it can take different perspectives.
Dude, just be the vessel.
Yeah.
And put it out.
Yeah.
It's really special.
That's the plan. The plan is no plan and just let it happen.